Why are poor people jealous of the wealthy? This is becoming a pandemic, really. Why can't we mourn those people that died in the Ocean Gate crisis and also the boat mishap? Why do we have to choose? Why are all people jealous about the way they spend their money? If the rich decide to spend their money on, on going on explorations, on their hobby, on their expensive hobbies, well, it's their money. If you have any problem with that, I think you should go out there and work rather than be jealous of how the rich are spending their money. And yes, they spend money on charities also. So, work.
Hello everyone, this is Emmanuel Cook. We will be reacting to a new video today, so make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's get into the video.
Something I cannot stop thinking about is back in the 1960s, mid-1960s-ish, my Nana owned a two-family house. They lived in half of it. They rented out the other half. You want to know how much rent was back in the day? 1 month's worth of rent was $50. 50. Yeah, you heard me right. Yeah, they were making about $100 a week. But that means in 1 week, you were making more than enough money for rent. In today's society, the average rent is about $1,500. The average weekly income is about $1,000. The fuck? And yes, I know inflation. Yes, I know our dollar does not equal the same as it did 50 years ago. But we have a ratio problem. Why hasn't the ratio grown with the ever-changing inflation and the dollar difference? Why is it that people need to work half of a month just to cover their rent? That is not including all of the other really expensive monthly payments we have. And just like a lot of problems in America, it's not a one simple solution. It's not as easy as just raising minimum wage, because we have to raise minimum wage, but then we also have to put into place legislation that stops businesses from price gouging just because they can. Because that is why inflation is so bad right now. People like to act like we can't raise minimum wage because inflation is going to get really bad and it's not going to mean anything. Well, inflation is really bad and nobody's getting paid more. So clearly there's multiple problems. I had to work 3 jobs in order to make my rent in 1 week. 3 jobs. Back in the day, people were working 1 job and they were able to live comfortably. Why am I working 3 jobs? Why am I working 3 jobs just to get by?
Poor people should not have kids. I'm 100% agree on this statement. And personally, I think if you are poor, like really poor, you cannot even afford your own life, and then if you decide to have kids, it's child abuse. It's irresponsible. Like, a lot of people don't understand. Kids need more than just love. I keep hearing a lot of people say, oh, I'm poor, but I love my children. Yes, because love is all you have. You have nothing. You have no money. Besides love your own children, what else can you offer? But you know what? Love cannot buy bread. Love cannot buy medicine if your child is sick. Love cannot put a roof on top of your children. Love is not money. You need money to raise child. When I decide to get diamond, I make sure that I'm fully prepared. I have a full-time job with a 70,000 annual salary, an apartment which I can afford, a year's emergency fund in my high-yield saving account, a car. I make sure that I can take care of diamond financially. And he's just a cat. Compared to children, the cat is much more low maintenance. I always want to have a cat, but I did not choose to have a cat during college, during graduate school, during internship, because I don't have a stable income back then. I decided to have a cat after I have a full-time job and an emergency fund. And that's the bare minimum for me to getting a cat. If you decide to have children, that should be the bare minimum for you as well. The stability that you can guarantee for your children. Yes, I know. Are you done? Are you done? Are you done? You want to go? You want to go? Want to go or continue? Okay, continue. And you know what's funny is? A lot of the poor people like to emphasize that they love their children. Like rich people or people have money don't love their children. Rich people love their children too. Then just don't emphasize it. Because they can offer their children much more than just love. They can give them better opportunity, better education, because they don't have money. But love is the only thing that poor people have, which simply cannot do anything. Because as far as I know, love is not a currency. You cannot buy food, shelter, or healthcare with love.
A lot of you guys need to realize the reason why you're not rich isn't because you don't deserve it. It's not because you're stupid. It's not because you're lazy. It's because you have a heart and a soul. And you don't feel like sacrificing the relationships that you have for a couple extra dollars. You don't feel like sacrificing your humanity to exploit somebody else out of being able to take care of themselves. You don't feel like sacrificing what really matters for the validation of people who don't fucking like you. So society attempts you to hate yourself, or attempts to get you to hate yourself by calling you names like brokey and lazy and weirdo. But have you ever sat down to ask any of these rich people if they genuinely like themselves? They genuinely like their lives? And I'm saying like off the like mainstream media to where their PR team told them that they have to say yes. For most of these rich people, the money is either like nepotism in the sense that their parent is holding money for their legacy through the child, and the kid is just getting an allowance to spend, or the money is compensation for all the bullshit you had to sacrifice and do throughout your real life as a means to get you to shut that mouth. Enjoy what you have. So when you start to say, hey, you know what? I think that I'm taking these drugs. I think that I'm abusing myself in these ways. I feel like I'm connecting with people who don't respect me, not because I don't have enough money, but because it's like an emotional, spiritual thing. And I need to address that. They can't let you fucking have that shit. They can't let you have that shit. Because that puts you on the path to not being on these addictive cycles of self-escape and self-rejection, which are some of the most profitable cycles you can put a human being or a slave into in this society. Let this video allow us to take a step back from the world that we're living in, from the hyper-consumption, from the ridiculous consumerism, and try to find the value that is not material in our lives. Try to find the wealth and the abundance that exists outside of monetary numbers and gains in our lives. And those of us who consider ourselves poor, like financially poor, materially poor, we're going to start to realize we actually have access to a lot more wealth than what money can buy. We are just put in a system where everything has a price tag on it to feel like the only people who are deserving of living a human life have access to that money, rather than people who have access to their heart and soul, reminding them that it's okay when they have enough. And they don't need to get more than enough through exploiting people who already don't have enough. A quote that I just came up with is, there is no sicker disease. There's probably a better word I could use in there, but there is no sicker disease than American greed. There is no sicker disease than American greed, because the only way you get punished for being greedy is if you're not successful. That's it. You didn't win? Okay, so now we're going to punish you. Because that's like non-human. But if you win enough and then you exit the game while you're still winning, now you're just a winner. You're not greedy. You're a winner. So for my everyday people, I think that the next trend, because this is the one trend that's going to get like, that rich people really can't get themselves involved in. And if they do want to get themselves involved in, then they have to invest in regular people. But we need to start making the widespread shit, local business, small business, up and coming brand, young entrepreneurs, young visionaries, young collective. Like, we as the people in the community that live day to day with our peers, we need to make their shit fly, get their shit popping. Like, why are we poor in relation to the conversation I'm having and buying rich people shit? Like rich people merch and shit. I understand we got to look fly. I understand that we got to look, and presentable and all types of stuff. But we're spending all of the crumbs we get investing in these rich people businesses, investing in their lifestyle, investing our attention in what they do as if it fucking matters. Like, you and I both know that Louis Vuitton does not need another sale from you. Hermes, Gucci, like if you don't have $1,000 in your account, if you don't have $10,000 in your bank account, none of them stores need anything from you. They don't even need you. Something in my brain is telling me if we can execute this properly, you're gonna see so many young people in thrift stores, in like at hand-me-down pop-up shops, and just like wearing old culture stuff or really making new culture with basic like Walmart level stuff, just real cheap shit. Because, and the reason why I say that rich people can't get involved in this type of culture when we start it from the grassroots, they can only take it from us and then bastardize it, is because they don't have, like, they feel like they are so much more high and mighty than we are, that they are just so above being able to create from scratch, that they're just so much more than being able to humble themselves and learn from people who they've been told are like dogs and animals. They'll never, ever, ever come down to our streets, to our life, to our world to actually become this or to feel this and appreciate it for what it is. They'll only ever buy it once it gets hot, and then they'll keep it at the top and then blame us for giving it to them and punish us by not letting us have access to it. Like, for the longest time, I wanted to get up out this fucking Civic, bro, and get in like a nice sports car and all that type of stuff. But I'm realizing, bro, if you just a fly ass nigga, and mind you, this isn't just black people. If you're just a fly human being, if you a dope individual, if you're a cool person, you are the thing that gives all the things you wear value. You are the thing that gives your life value. You are the fucking spark plug. And we've been convinced by so many different means and like methods of our society that we aren't the value and that we have to put on the value. We have to own the value. We have to have access to the value first, and then we can be valuable. But we forget we're the ones that design this shit. We are the model. We are the mannequin. We are the player one who picks up the controller and then makes decisions. And I want us as everyday people to really realize that, because do we really need like another iPhone? Do we really need another car? Do we really need another house or property? Like, and is the constant hyper consumerism, is that stopping us from being able to appreciate the little that we do have, in the same way that people who do grow up with nothing in like third world countries and on the streets are able to appreciate the things that they have access to, because that's all they have access to? I'll give like a little analogy right here. Think about how like the rabbit hole of animosity that comes from consumerism, especially when you're gaining your sense of validation out of the things you consume rather than being able to validate it within yourself naturally. You want validation for that article of clothing you just bought or that piece of jewelry you just bought, so you wear it and you go out to a place where other people are competing against each other to get validation as well. And you think by conquering the environment, you've got the validation that you need to compensate for the void in your heart that is just reading self-rejection. So now you're constantly putting yourself out in the world to compete for the self-validation you don't give yourself through other people, putting expectations on them that don't need to be on them, while disappointing yourself because it's not their responsibility either. Rather than being yourself one and then putting yourself into a world because you don't give a fuck who rejects you since you accept yourself, and then appreciating the people who go out of their way to appreciate you. Not just sitting there like a wallflower expecting people to come up on you like a celebrity, but appreciating people that when you engage authentically, appreciating the people who respect that and appreciate that, and continuing to build those bonds and relationships with those people. Not people that you had to fake yourself first to get in the club with them, and then get disappointed when they be fucking hating on you for real afterwards, bro.
A quick reminder, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's continue the video.
There's one thing, two things, three things. There's something I will never be, and that's a billionaire, millionaire. I don't give a fucking air. If I have so much money to the point where I'm just like willy-nilly with it, that's so selfish. Give it away. I don't need that money. I don't think there should be billionaires. I don't think there's like maybe millionaires, okay? Billionaires should not exist. You are hoarding money. You are keeping that from people who need it. There are people in poverty who you could be donating to, but you're just keeping that money for what? Your inheritance? No. No. So you can buy another sports car. There's a fly. Cool. So what? You can buy another vacation house. You can have a house in every state. You can have a castle. Bitch, donate it. Give it to people who need it to survive. Give it to people who are dying. People are dying because they don't have money. And what are you doing? Buying some fancy ass breed of dog? Buying a big ass house? Fucking dude, that's just so selfish and unethical. How morally corrupt do you have to be a billionaire? Genuinely.
We have a really strong clash between the rich and the poor. And unfortunately, things will not change. Why is that? Those in power are almost all part of the rich class. Almost all of them are worth more than $1 million. Those who pass the laws, those who create new laws, are part of the class who we should tax. They will never create a bill, a law that does not benefit them one way or another. Hence, all of these tax loopholes and stuff like that. All of these schemes and tricks and all of this stuff is to help them. So, unfortunately, we will never be able to eat the rich. So, even if we elect new leaders, it's still the same issue, still the same problem. At the end of the day, human beings are self-interested first.
Why is it that rich families will say, oh honey, you can live off of me and however long you need to. You don't have to go do anything except anything that feels good to you. But the majority of the population will say, oh child, I don't owe you anything after you turn 18. Actually, go struggle, go be independent. I'm not gonna give you a cent because you need to know how hard you need to work for the things that you've got. The thing about kids, the thing about humans, is that we all want to go do things. Part of living life and being in this human body is to create, is to go experience, is to go figure things out and have your own thought process on them. The people that think if they support their kids longer and that they shouldn't be supporting them because they need to go figure out how to live life and struggle on their own are parents who just want like their kids to know what pain is. Because if I had kids, I would be like, oh, hell yeah, live off of me, go do whatever it is you want. And I bet you that kid would be like, awesome, thanks so much, Mom. I really have the safety and the confidence, and now I'm feeling really good about going out and doing whatever it is I want to do. And they're like, maybe I want to make money by myself, and I'm going to go and start a business. But because I have this great foundation of my parents supporting me and loving me and nurturing me and not putting that stress on me, I can go do whatever it is I want to do. But for some reason, the majority of parents want to see their kids struggle. They want to see them struggle. Like I said, rich, wealthy families are like, you can live off of me forever. Live in my house. I'll fund whatever you need me to fund. Chill. You can just chill. Do whatever. Dude, I think a lot of people, a lot of parents, don't realize that life in itself is already traumatic. When you come out of the womb, you're like squeezing through this tiny ass hole and you're coming from this like safe, nice, warm, all-encompassing place, and now you're ripped into the cosmos. You're ripped from the cosmos into reality, and you have to live and you have to be autonomous and learn things. It's like, dude, life, it's beautiful, it's amazing, but it's also traumatic. It's also crazy. It's also difficult. So why are there parents that literally want their kids to struggle more? They're like, because I had it hard, you need to have it hard too? But there's some families that say, if I have it easy, you should also have it easy. See, it's all a fucking choice.
I appreciate you guys watching the video today. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.